Yes, well, how very nice to be here with you all in this beautiful place.
Kui tore on olla siin teie kõigiga vaimses kohas.
And, you know, the subject we're going to explore is very deep.
Teema, mida me hakkame arutama, on hästi sügav.
So, you know, to say that we're having a party.
Öelda, et meil on pidu.
It's a little, anyway, it's okay, but it's just a little extraordinary.
See on okei, aga see on eriline nagu.
Anyway, it's fun, it's nice, it's pleasurable.
Tore, meeldiv.
Right, okay, so let us begin. And we've been chanting quite a few mantras the last, so many minutes. I'm going to chant a few more mantras.
Me oleme siin laulnud mõndagi mantrat, nüüd me laulame ka veel paar mantrat.
If you know these mantras, or I know many of you do, you can just join in with me and chant them as I chant them.
Kui te juhtute teada neid mantreid, võite minuga ühineda.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastuchadi Shatarane Vachikalpa Churubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yes, well, thank you all very much for coming.
Aitäh kõigile tulemast.
And I don't know, maybe there's a few of you who are not familiar at all with the spiritual science as we understand it.
Ma ei tea päris, kas on mõni, kes ei tea üldse sellest vaimsest teadusest midagi, mis me nüüd arutame.
Please give your attention.
Palun pöörake tähelepanu.
And I'll read a verse from Bhagavad Gita, which is the main text of the spiritual tradition from Southeast Asia.
Ma loen värsi Bhagavad Gitast, mis on üks põhilisi tekste Kaug-Aasiast.
Okay, so here we go. This is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, and we will start with verse 13.
Me alustame nüüd Bhagavad Gita lugemist, peatükk 2 ja värs 13.
And this is Lord Krishna speaking.
Ja siin on Jumal Krishna räägib.
Dehinosmin yata dehe kumaram yogananjara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muyati. So the translation,
Tõlge.
as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change.
Nii nagu kehastunud hing liigub selles kehas noorest kehast vanasse, samamoodi liigub hing ühest kehast teise surmahetkel. Kaine inimene ei ole sellisest muudatusest kõigutatud.
Can you read it from there? You can see it. Right, well, you know, I didn't have the opportunity earlier today to watch the video which we saw some minutes ago.
tänapäeval meil ei olnud võimalus eelnevalt vaadata seda videot, mis me just vaatasime.
That was Prabhupada, who was the person who brought our tradition from India to the rest of the world back in 1965.
see oli Prabhupada, kes tõi meile selle traditsiooni Indiast 1965. aastal.
And he was speaking there about more or less exactly what I'm going to speak to you about.
ja ta rääkis seal umbes samal teemal, millest ma just ka hakkan rääkima.
Right, so here Krishna is talking about how what in English, normally at least in English, we call the soul, or in our Eastern spiritual tradition, we would say the spiritual living entity is entangled in this body.
siin Krishna räägib siis, mida inglise keeles võidakse tõlkida nagu hing või siis elusolend, vaimsest elusolendist, kes on siin kehas.
Yes, so the soul or the spiritual living entity starts off as a baby.
hing või vaimne elusolend alustab oma teega nagu beebina, väikse lapsena.
Or we should say in a baby's body.
või õigemini võin täpsemalt öelda imiku kehas.
Then like a child's body.
siis ta on lapse kehas.
Then a youth's body.
siis nooruki kehas.
And then step by step into middle age.
järk-järgult jõuab ta keskikka.
Eventually into old age.
lõpuks vanadusse.
And then of course sooner or later the body just becomes unable to function any further.
ning loomulikult mingil hetkel keha ei ole enam võimeline edasi toimima.
And it just breaks down and it just stops. And that of course we call death.
ning siis ta lihtsalt peatub, läheb katki ja seda me kutsumegi surmaks.
Now very interesting point, if you think about it, very interesting point is that
väga huvitav point, kui me selle peale mõtleme, on see,
we have had, as Krishna said, we've had baby's body, youth's body, etc. like that.
nagu Krishna ütleb, meil on olnud nooruki keha, täiskasvanu keha ja niimoodi edasi.
And we talk about the subtle body.
aga nüüd me räägime ka peenkehast.
Means really the mental body.
see viitab mentaalsele või mõistuse kehale.
The mind, the intelligence, the sense of entity.
Need on siis mõistus, arukus ja enesetunnetus.
Like sense of entity means the sense that I am a particular person.
see tunnetus, et mina olen olemas, ma olen see isik.
So, looking around, most of us here are older. There's a couple of young ones here, but, I think many of us are kind of in the middle somewhere.
enamik on siin vanema seas, mõned ka nooremad, peamiselt keskmine.
I'm in the later stages myself.
ma olen ise viimastes staadiumites juba.
I may be the oldest person here.
ma võib-olla olen isegi kõige vanem inimene siin.
I remember I've been involved in this process of spiritual life, like seriously involved since the end of 1972.
ma olen olnud siin tõsiselt hõivatud selle vaimse protsessiga juba 1972. aastast.
And I would give lectures in at least 1973. I was regularly giving lectures.
ja alates 73. aastast olen ma regulaarselt loenguid andnud.
And I would look around at the audience.
ma vaatan publikut.
And in those days, I would often see I was the youngest person there.
tol ajal ma panin tähele, et siis olin ma tihti noorim inimene.
Now I look around, maybe I'm the oldest, certainly I'm one of the oldest.
nüüd ma vaatan, et ma olen kõige vanem või vähemasti üks vanematest.
Right, so the body has changed tremendously and the mind has changed tremendously.
keha on muutunud märkimisväärselt hästi palju ja samuti on ka mõistus hästi palju muutunud.
You know, when we were little children, we were attracted to certain things like toys.
kui me olime lapsed, siis me olime kiindunud teatud asjadest nagu mänguasjad.
Now we're not interested in those types of toys.
nüüd me ei ole aga huvitatud sellistest mänguasjadest nagu siis.
Yeah, so the body has changed, the physical body, gross body, but the subtle body or the mental condition has changed also.
et meie keha, jämedakoeline keha on muutunud, kuid samuti on ka meie eelmine keha või see mõistus muutunud.
But still, we know very clearly, I am the same person.
kuid ikka me teame kindlalt, et mina olen seesama inimene.
Like the same entity, the same being.
sama elusolend, sama olend.
The body is not the physical body is not the same. The mental condition is quite different.
füüsiline keha ei ole sama, meie mõistuse seisund on hoopis teistsugune.
But still I know I'm still me. It's not like I'm some other completely different person.
kuid ikka ma tean, et mina olen ikkagi mina ise, ma ei ole keegi teine inimene.
And this is in keeping with some of what Prabhupada was saying in that video.
ning see on seotud kokku sellega, mida Prabhupada rääkis siin videos.
So, you know, the logic he was using there, if you followed the logic, it was that the body is changing, but I'm remaining the same person.
loogika, mida Prabhupada kasutas seal videos, oli, et keha meil muutub, aga me jääme samaks isikuseks.
And the mind is changing, but it's my mind, and I'm not changing.
mõistus samuti muutub, kuid see on minu mõistus, mina olen ikkagi sama.
So Prabhupada's logic was that if I am sort of consistently there through all these changes of physical body and mental condition, then when the gross body, physical body is finished, why should I be finished?
Prabhupada loogika oli see, et kui meie keha muutub, meie mentaalne seisund muutub ja me näeme, et aga meie oleme ikka läbivalt sama, siis miks me peaksime lõppema, kui meie keha kaob või sureb?
I've remained the same entity, the same being.
ma jään ikka ju samaks inimeseks või olendaks.
Yes, so Prabhupada was talking about these things.
Prabhupada rääkis siis nendest asjadest.
And we talk about, well, I can tell you one little experience I had many years ago when I was staying in our temple in London.
Ma nüüd räägin ühest kogemusest tükk aega tagasi, kui ma olin Londoni templis.
We were right in the center of London, and two people were driving in their cars, and one of the cars crashed into the other car.
Londoni kesklinnas, seal oli kaks autot ja need sõitsid üksteisele otsa.
And the driver of the car, which got smashed into, he jumped out and he said, "You hit me! You hit me!"
ja see autojuht, kellele sisse sõideti, see hüppas autost välja ja hüüdis, et
But you did not hit me, your car hit my car.
ja, aga mitte sina ei sõitnud mulle otsa, vaid sinu auto sõitis minu autole otsa.
So my point here is that there's this tendency to misidentify something which is not me but to accept it as if it is me.
kui on olemas siin selline tendents, et me kipume samastama midagi, mis ei ole meie endaga.
So that was an example of a motor car. It's very clear that the person, the driver and the car are just completely different.
see oli siis auto näide, et siin on ju täiesti selge, et see autojuht ja auto on erinevad asjad.
But we talk about my body.
kuid me räägime ka samuti minu keha,
my head,
minu pea,
my leg,
minu jalg,
my mind.
minu mõistus.
So, at the same time, there's the tendency to think, I am this body.
samal ajal on ka niisugune kalduvus mõelda, et ma olen see keha.
Yeah. So to think this body is me.
samuti mõelda, et see keha ongi mina.
But it cannot be mine and be me simultaneously.
kuid keha ei saa olla minu oma ja mina ise samal ajal.
So this was a case of misidentification.
siin oli see sassi ajamise olukord, et me ajasime sassi, kes me oleme.
Yes. Is it my body or is it me body?
et kas see on minu keha või mina keha.
It can't be both.
see ei saa olla mõlemat.
To think it's both, it's me and it's mine. This is it's almost like a sort of schizophrenic idea, if you understand what I mean.
mõelda, et miski on minu oma ja mina olen ise samal ajal see asi, see on nagu hullumeelne.
One type of schizophrenia is to think that you're someone else altogether.
üks hullumeelsuse tüüp on see, et mõelda, et ma olen keegi teine.
Famous example is someone somehow thinks he is Napoleon.
kuulus näide on, keegi kuskil võib mõelda, et tema ongi Napoleon.
Or maybe he thinks he's the king.
või ta mõtleb, et tema on kuningas.
But he's not Napoleon, of course.
kuid ta ei ole ju Napoleon loomulikult.
But he may say, yes, I'm Napoleon, look at me.
kuid ta võib mõelda, et jaa, mina olen Napoleon, vaadake mind.
Or maybe I'm the king.
või et mina olen kuningas.
But he's not that.
kuid ta ei ole seda.
So this, of course, is understood to be like a mentally diseased condition.
ning sellest tuleb aru saada, et see on vaimne haigus.
So the fact is that in that sense, everyone in the material world who's identifying this is my body and it's me, they're sort of in a mentally diseased condition.
selliselt mõeldes, et kõik need inimesed, kes on siin materiaalses maailmas, kes mõtlevad, et see on minu keha ja mina olengi see keha samal ajal, et see on nagu natukene vaimselt mitte kõige tervem seisund.
But it's so common. Practically everyone is thinking like this.
kuid see on nii tavaline, peaaegu kõik mõtlevad nii.
And therefore people, they don't really understand that this contrast between me and what is mine, that it's really there.
ning seepärast inimesed ei mõtlegi selle peale, et see erinevus, et kas miski asi on minu oma või et mina olen see, et see on üldse siuke erinevus on seal olemas.
And they think it's normal to think like that.
mõtlevad, see on tavaline niimoodi mõelda, et see on sama.
So I want to do a little test, a little exercise.
ma tahan teha väikse testi või harjutuse.
Malachi Uprajnenia. Now I was thinking of Kevin. Could you help me with this, Kevin?
ma mõtlesin Kevini peale, et kas sa saad aidata.
Come on the stage.
palun tule lavale.
And this is Kevin. You've seen him already. He was playing instruments.
tema on Kevin, ta olete varem näinud, ta mängis instrumente seal.
Very nice young man. Stand in the middle of the stage.
tore noormees, palun seisa
And face the audience.
pöörduva publiku poole.
Now, Kevin, point to your left arm.
näita oma vasakut kätt.
That's it, you got it. Good work.
Tubli, sa said.
Now, okay, now point to your right leg.
Nüüd osutama näite jalga, paremat jalga.
Very good, he's a bright young man. Now, point to your chest.
Nüüd näitama rinnale.
Now point to your head.
Nüüd näitama, viitama peale.
Now sort of indicate your whole body.
Näita, kus on viitama kogu kehale.
Okay, good, isn't he good?
Kas sa pole mitte hea?
Yeah, great. Now please, Kevin, point to you.
Näita enda peale.
Well, that's your chest. We already
See on see
said that.
rind, seda me juba näitasime.
That's your head.
Pea.
Yeah. So have another go. Point to you.
Näita enda peale. Proovime uuesti. Näita enda peale.
I think he's confused.
Tundub, ta on segaduses.
And it's not because he's not intelligent. He's very intelligent, actually.
Mitte sellepärast, et ta poleks arukas, ta on väga arukas tegelikult.
But he is in this contradictory situation. We're pointing out this contradictory situation.
Kui ta on sellises vastuolulises olukorras, me paneme ta sellisesse vastuolulisse olukorda.
And even if we had, do you have a PhD?
Sul on doktorikraad.
Not yet? No? Okay. Even if we brought a PhD up here and we did the same exercise, the PhD at this point would also be confused.
Kui me tooksime doktorikraadiga inimese siia, ka tema oleks sellises olukorras segaduses.
So anyway, please give him a round of applause. He did very well.
Aplaus talle. Tegi väga hästi.
Thank you, Kevin, and excuse me. Hope you didn't feel embarrassed.
Aitäh, Kevin, loodetavasti ei ole väga piinlik.
But isn't it an interesting point?
See on mitte huvitav mõte.
The whole thing is my body. How can it be me at the same time?
Kui kogu see on minu keha, kuidas see saab siis olla samal ajal mina?
Yeah, right. So in our tradition, in order to illustrate this point, we use the example of a vehicle and the driver of the vehicle.
Meie traditsioonis me kasutame sellist näidet nagu sõiduk ja sõiduki juht.
And the vehicle, of course, represents this physical body.
Ning sõiduk loomulikult esindab siis seda meie füüsilist keha.
And the driver of the vehicle represents the soul, the eternal, conscious spirit soul.
Ning juht esindab siis seda vaimset, igavest hinge.
And we all know, of course we know, a car cannot drive itself.
Ning loomulikult me teame, et auto ei saa ise sõita.
Well, you know, I mean, they're trying to make self-driving cars now.
No, nad proovivad teha ise sõitvaid autosid praegust.
I believe a number of people have been killed being in one of these self-driving cars which didn't know how to drive.
Ma usun, et mitmed inimesed on isegi surma saanud sellest, et kui isesõitav auto ei osanud sõita.
Anyway, if they ever make a self-driving car, you must know there's a sort of a computer in there which is actually what is manipulating the car.
Kui nad kunagi teevad isesõitva auto, siis saad peate teadma, et seal on selline arvuti, mis siis juhib seda sõitmist.
And the computer has been put together and programmed by a person.
Ning see arvuti on kokku pandud ning programmeeritud inimese poolt.
But anyway, the thing is that cars need drivers.
Kuid igal juhul on see, et autod vajavad juhti.
And if the driver is in the car, then you see the car's moving on the correct side of the road.
Kui juht on autos, siis me näeme, et auto liigub õigel tee poolel.
And not driving too fast,
ega sõida liiga kiiresti,
and stopping when there's a red light,
ta peatub, kui on punane tuli,
and all those types of things.
kõik need asjad.
And that's not exactly the function of the car.
see ei ole päris selle auto nagu funktsioon või ülesanne.
That is the function of the driver.
Need kõik asjad see on juhi tegemised.
The driver is making the car function in those ways.
Juht paneb auto sedasi liikuma.
So similarly, in our tradition, the Vedic tradition, based on the Vedic literatures, then the idea is there of the soul, the eternal conscious person, directing the material body.
Vastavalt meie traditsioonile, vastavalt veedadele on need samamoodi, et hing me ise paneme siis selle materiaalse keha liikuma.
And you know, these bodies, they're composed of different elements or just different things.
Need kehad on koosnevad erinevatest elementidest.
Like when I was at school, I was brought up in New Zealand. And when I was there at school in New Zealand, we were told our bodies are something like 70% water.
Ma kasvasin üles Uus-Meremaal ning meile õpetati seal koolis, et meie kehad on kusagil nii umbes 70% vesi.
Is it the same in Estonia?
Kas on samamoodi siin Eestis?
Or is there more water or less water?
Või on siin vähem vett või rohkem vett?
Estonians are very sort of easygoing, kind of peaceful people. Maybe there was more water.
Eestis on sellised rahulikud inimesed, et võib-olla siin oli inimestel rohkem vett sees.
So that water, it's just the usual water, H2O.
See vesi on lihtsalt tavaline vesi, H2O.
If I had a cup of water here, I could just drink some.
Kui mul oleks siin tass, ma võiksin seda lihtsalt juua.
It's just the same water, it's not some special water.
See on lihtsalt tavaline vesi, see ei ole mingi eriline vesi.
And then our bodies have bones which are mainly calcium.
Nüüd me kehadel on siis luud, mis on põhiliselt kaltsium.
And then, you know, whatever else, there's a nervous system, a digestive system which involves a certain amount of acid.
Ning seal on meil igasugused närvisüsteem, seedemissüsteem, kus on mingid happed.
And all these ingredients are just ordinary ingredients. You can buy them in a chemical shop.
Kõik need koostises on tavalised osad, tavalised elemendid. Me võime osta neid keemiapoest sellised.
In fact, when I was living there in England in the 70s, and there was an article in the Times of London magazine.
Kui ma olin Londonis 70-ndatel, siis seal oli ajakirjas selline artikkel.
And in that newspaper actually, it said that all the different chemicals, etc., which our bodies are made of, you can buy them in the chemical shop, and it will cost you approximately 10 English pounds.
Seal artiklis oli kirjas, et kõik need elemendist, millest me keha koosneb, need kõike võib osta keemiapoest ja see kokku läheks maksma umbes 10 poundi.
So how is it that this combination of very common elements, how is it that it's alive?
Kuidas on siis nii saab olla, et kõik need elemendid, millest keha koosneb, et me oleme ikkagi elus, need tavalistest elementidest?
Is there some special chemical that you only find in our bodies, which is keeping our bodies alive?
Kas on olemas siis mingisugune eriline kemikaal, mida leidub ainult meie kehades, mis hoiab meid elus?
Well, I'm sorry to say, there is no such special chemical.
kahju öelda, aga ei ole sellist erilist kemikaali.
It's only the usual, typical, ordinary chemicals which make up our bodies.
Need on ainult täiesti tavalised kemikaalid, millest meie keha koosneb.
So how is it that our bodies are living?
Kuidas siis on, et meie keha elab?
And how is it that our bodies die?
Miks on siis nii, et meie kehad surevad?
Because generally when a person's body dies, the same chemicals are still there.
Üldiselt, kui inimene sureb, siis need samad kemikaalid või ained on ikka seal veel olemas.
So in the spiritual science of India and Southeast Asia, the idea which is there is that there is a living being which is within this body, which is otherwise made of ordinary ingredients, but that spiritual, conscious living being is lending its life, its consciousness to the material body.
Ning India piirkonnas on siis selline mõte, et selle keha sees elutseb hing, elusolend, kes siis annab sellele kehale teadvuse ja jõu tegutseda.
A common example which can be given to illustrate, at least to some degree, the principle here.
Tüüpiline näide, mida võib selle illustreerimiseks tuua,
is that generally nowadays, if someone has a watch, generally they're battery powered.
Nüüd kui tavaliselt, kui kellelgi on tänapäeval kell, siis üldiselt on see patareidega toimib.
And, you know, the battery keeps the watch ticking away.
Patarei hoiab seda kella siis töös.
But then when the battery runs out, then the watch stops.
Kui patarei saab tühjaks, siis kell jääb ka seisma.
So it's not exactly that the watch is running itself.
Ei ole päris nii, et kell töötab iseenesest.
It's the battery which is running the watch.
See on hoopis patarei, mis paneb kella tööle.
You know, of course, this is not a complete example, but it gives an idea.
Loomulikult see on täielik nagu näide, aga see annab mingisuguse idee.
You know, if the battery goes flat, you can always put a new battery in, and then your watch will start running again.
Kui patarei saab tühjaks, me saame panna uue patarei ja kell töötab siis edasi.
So, but anyway, it gives some idea of the principle involved.
Üldiselt see annab idee sellisest printsiibist, mis siin toimib.
The watch, of course, it has its whole mechanism, you know, wires and different items which are there.
Kellal on oma mehhanism, kõik need jubinad ja mis seal sees kõik on.
But the energy which makes it function is coming from the battery.
Kuid energia, mis paneb selle kella tööle, tuleb patareist.
Similarly, within our bodies, which are made of very ordinary chemicals, etc., there is something here which is giving life to these ordinary chemicals.
Samamoodi meie keha, mis koosneb siis täiesti tavalistest ainetest, kemikaalidest, siin on midagi sees, mis paneb selle keha tööle, liikuma.
Lending life to this body, lending consciousness to the body.
Mis annab siis kehale teadvuse, annab sellele elu.
Yes, so this we take, or the tradition takes, to be the eternal, spiritual, living entity.
Ning seda me tunneme siis kui igavest vaimset elusolendit.
And when the eternal soul leaves this temporary material body, then the body just stops.
Ning kui see igavene vaimne hing lahkub kehast, siis see keha lihtsalt lakkab töötamast.
And of course this we call death.
Ning seda me kutsume surmaks.
So yeah, these are very interesting and important subject matters.
Need on väga huvitavad ja olulised teemad.
And they really, they deserve to be given like very good attention.
Need teemad väärivad, et neile väga suurt tähelepanu pööratakse.
But interestingly enough, these things are not understood in the regular scientific circle.
Kuid huvitaval kombel nendest teemadest ei saada aru laiemates teadusringkondades.
Yes, so this is the science of the soul, the science of self-realization.
See oli siis teadus hingest, teadus eneseteadvustamisest.
And there are spiritual processes which one can apply, which can help you to realize these points very clearly.
On olemas protsessid, mis aitavad meil siis aru saada nendest printsiipidest.
Help us to realize that I am not this body.
Mis aitavad meil aru saada, et me ei ole see keha.
But this body is just a vehicle which I am inhabiting.
Et see keha on lihtsalt sõiduk, milles ma tegutsen.
And which I, as an eternal spiritual person, am empowering with life and consciousness.
Mida mina kui vaimne hing panen tööle ja annan sellele elu.
So, the process or processes for realizing this and for having these points become clear is based on the first part is mantra meditation.
Protsessid, mis panevad meid sellest teadusest aru saama, esimeseks selleks on mantra meditatsioon.
Mantra meditation means focusing on spiritual sound vibration.
Mantra meditatsioon tähendab siis keskendumist vaimsele helivibratsioonile.
And because that sound vibration is spiritual, just as we are spiritual as eternal spiritual persons.
Sellepärast, et need vaimsed helivibratsioonid on just vaimsed ja see, et meie ise oleme ka vaimne.
Then it acts on our spiritual nature.
Siis sellepärast ta hakkab tööle või mõjutab meie vaimset hinge.
And it clears away some of the ignorance which is covering our consciousness at this point.
Ning see sama ajaga siis ta puhastab teadmatust, mis meie teadvust katab.
That ignorance which is obscuring our view of ourselves.
Teadmatus, mis katab siis meie arusaamist meist endist.
Yes, so, I have a suggestion, at least for any of you who are here, who are not already involved in the process.
Mul on soovitus neile, kes siin on, kes ei ole veel selle protsessi osas.
That you can try, and I suggest you do try doing some of this mantra meditation.
Ning ma soovitan, et prooviksite ja teeksite seda mantra meditatsiooni.
Yes, that sound vibration acts on our consciousness.
See helivibratsioon toimib meie teadvusele.
Not just like drugs act on our consciousness.
Mitte sellisel viisil, nagu narkootikumid mõjutavad meie teadvust.
But this is something completely natural, which is in tune with our actual spiritual nature.
See on miskit, mis on täiesti loomulik meile ja mis on kooskõlas meie hingega.
And it's a gradual process when one applies oneself. It's a gradual process which leads to perceiving you, the eternal soul within.
See on selline järk-järguline protsess, mis ajapikku paneb meid teadvustama meid endid.
So it's a gradual process. Don't be disappointed if after the first day of doing it, you have not realized yourself clearly.
see on selline järguline protsess, et ärge ole pettunud, kui te pärast esimest päeva või nii ei ole ennast teadvustanud.
But the first effects, which are very tangible and very clear effects,
esimesed tundemärgid, esimesed efektid,
they are the removal, well, the reduction and gradually the removal of negative states of consciousness.
esimesed efektid on siis kas siis, mis vähendavad või siis lõpuks ka täiesti eemaldavad negatiivsed meeleseisundid.
Water, you remember, 75%.
Vesi 70% mäletab.
I'm sort of recharging my water supply.
Ma taastan oma veevarusid.
So, it's very common in people who are just absorbed in day-to-day life. It's very common for them to have, to one degree or another, negative states of mind.
See on üsna tavaline inimestel, kes on nagu igapäevaeluga hõivatud, et neil on mingisugune protsent negatiivseid nagu meeleseisundeid.
Things like lust, anger, greed.
Asjad nagu iha, viha, ahnus.
Like pride.
Nagu uhkus.
Like fear.
Nagu hirm.
These things are, like you could say, diseases of the consciousness.
Need asjade kohta võib öelda nagu, et need on teadvuse haigused.
And I think we've all experienced those things, and we know they're just not very nice.
Ma arvan, et me oleme kõik neid kogenud ja me saame aru, et need ei ole just kõige meeldivamad.
I read many years ago in Time magazine that every single American will at least one time in their life have so much trouble with their mind, they will have to go and see a psychologist.
Ükskord lugesin Time ajakirjast, et iga ameeriklane kas või ühe korra oma elu jooksul on kogenud nii palju halba meeleseisundit, et nad peavad minema arsti vastuvõtule.
I don't know about here in Estonia.
Ma ei tea Eesti kohta.
Estonians are more peaceful in my experience.
Minu kogemuse järgi eestlased on rohkem rahulikumad.
But I guess there's a few psychologists around and they're making a living.
Ma arvan, et siin on paar psühhiaatrit ka ikkagi siin olemas ja nad teenivad omale elatist sellega.
So anyway, the thing is, these are actually from the spiritual point of view, unnatural states of consciousness.
Vaimsest vaatepunktist on sellised meeleolud ebaloomulikud.
Because the consciousness, the eternal soul is by nature eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss.
Sest teadvus või see igavene hing on oma loomu poolest igavene, täis teadmisi ja õndsust.
But so many people are disturbed about this and that, and are the Russians going to invade Estonia?
Nii palju inimesed on ärevad ja mõtlevad, võib-olla Venemaa ründab Eestit või...
We better not talk about that, do we?
Võib-olla me ei räägi rohkem sellest.
Sure. But anyway, many people are disturbed in Tallinn today.
Igal juhul on see, et paljud inimesed on häiritud siin samas Tallinnas.
So the chanting of transcendental mantra, transcendental sound vibration, it cleanses away, step by step, cleanses away these unnatural contaminations of the consciousness.
ning selle transcendentaalse vaimse helivibratsiooni kordamine järk-järgult puhastab kõik need ebaloomulikud meeleseisundid.
And Prabhupada, who you saw in the video, he said, in regards to this chanting of mantra, the first installment of result is peace of mind.
Prabhupada, keda me nägime siin videos, ütleb, et esimene tundemärk, et see toimib, on meelerahu.
It's not the last stage that finally when you reach the goal, then you become peaceful.
Ei, see ei ole kõige viimane asi, et siis, kui lõpuks me saame rahu, aga ei, see on kõige esimene.
It's the first step, the first clear result you'll get.
See on esimene asi, mida me saavutame.
And from that point on, it just gets better.
Sealt edasi läheb ainult paremaks.
And finally, in the long run, finally, you come to actually see yourself for who you really are.
Ning lõpus pikas perspektiivis me hakkame nägema ennast, et kes me tegelikult oleme.
And you know, a very important point is that these practices have been going on not just for hundreds of years, but many thousands of years.
Oluline on teada, et need praktikad ei ole siin viimase mingi 100 aasta jooksul tulnud, vaid need on tuhanded aastad olnud.
And many millions and many tens of millions of people have done this mantra meditation and experienced what I'm talking about.
Miljonid inimesed on varemalt teinud seda sama mantra meditatsiooni ning kogevad neid tulemusi.
And you can also.
Ning teie saate samuti.
And when you do, when you start experiencing the result, then you'll feel, wow, this is really very nice.
Kui te hakkate vaikselt tulemusi kogema, siis te mõtlete küll, et see on väga hea.
So if you're new to these things, if you're not familiar with these things, give it a try.
Kui te olete uus, siis proovige järgi.
And then you see for yourself and you decide for yourself.
Siis te näete ise ja saate ise otsustada.
Don't just take what I say, but you come to your own conclusion.
Ärge lihtsalt võtke seda, mis mina ütlen, vaid jõudke omaenda järeldusteni.
So anyway, this is a spiritual science.
See on siis vaimne teadus.
And like many sciences, it is quite subtle.
Paljud teadused, see on üsna peemne.
And it is quite mystical.
See on üsna müstiline.
Yes. Just through chanting some sound vibration, your consciousness becomes quite radically changed.
Et lihtsalt mõne helivibratsiooni kordamisel meie teadus täiesti radikaalselt muutub.
And changed very much for the better.
Ja just väga palju paremuse suunas.
Well, it's a very interesting idea, isn't it?
Kas pole see mitte huvitav?
So this is what we want you to take away from our program this evening.
See on see, mida me tahame, et te siit programmid kaasa võtaksite.
Take away, particularly, well, you see on our left here on the wall.
Te näete siin minu vasakul, siin seina peal.
That is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
See on Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
There are many mantras.
Palju mantraid on olemas.
This is called the Maha Mantra, which means the great mantra.
See on Maha Mantra, mis tähendab suur mantra.
Mantra actually, man means the mind and tra means to deliver.
Man tähendab mõistust ja tra tähendab vabastama.
So this is the great mantra which delivers the mind from so many things, so many undesirable things.
See on siis suur vägev mantra, mis vabastab mõistuse nii paljudest ebasoovitavatest asjadest.
and brings you to a much better level of consciousness in a completely natural way.
nii toob su täiesti kõrgemat teadustasanditele täiesti loomulikul viisil.
And it's not like drugs.
See ei ole nagu narkootikumid.
Or, I mean, not just narcotics, but, you know,
rohud.
like psychiatric drug, Valium and whatever.
Need ei ole nagu ka, see ei ole ka nagu kas või mis rohud, nagu psühhiaatrilised rohud või midagi, mis aitavad võib-olla.
That you take one, but then you have to take another one some hours later.
Et sa pead võtad ühe ja siis saad mingi aja pärast pead teise võtma.
This has a deep and lasting effect.
Sellel on siis sügavam kestev mõju.
So please take the mantra home with you.
Palun võtke see mantra.
Take a book or take some of our books with you.
Võtke raamatuid.
We have some of our books here, including Bhagavad Gita.
Meil on siin mitmed raamatud, sealhulgas Bhagavad Gita.
It's Bhagavad Gita that I was reading from earlier.
See on Bhagavad Gita, millest ma alguses ka lugesin.
And give it a try and see what happens with you.
Proovige ja vaadake, mis teiega toimub.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, dear Bhakti Sai Maharaj.
Aitäh, Bhakti Sai Maharaj.
Thank you for your wonderful spiritual lesson.
Aitäh suurepärase vaimse õpetuste eest.
May we ask some questions?
Võib-olla on teil küsimusi?
If someone wants, yes, why not, of course.
Kui keegi tahab, palun.
Yes, you have some questions.
Okay.
Харе Кришна, дорогой Бхакти Чайтанья Махарадж. У меня такой вопрос. Если тело состоит на 70% воды, а на 30% из химических элементов, то из чего состоит душа?
If body consists 70% of water, which consists the soul?
Which what?
From which consists the soul?
What is it made of?
Yeah, what is it made of?
Yeah, well, the soul is made of non-material substance.
Küsimus, et millest siis, kui keha on palju koosneb suures osas veest, millest siis hing koosneb, aga hing on siis mittemateriaalne.
Like it's not just made of blood and flesh and bones.
Hing ei ole siis verest ja lihast ja luudest.
Yeah, it is made of spirit.
Hing on tehtud siis vaimust.
And then the question might be, well, how big is it? What does it weigh?
Ka küsimus, et kui suur siis on või mis see kaalub ka?
Well, the description is, it is infinitesimal. You cannot even see it with like the strongest microscope.
Nii on kirjeldatud siis, et see on imetilluke, mida ei ole, nii tilluke, et seda ei ole võimalik näha ka kõige tugevamate mikroskoopidega.
Yeah, so its weight cannot be measured by any material machine.
See raskust ei saa mõõta ka mitte ühegi materiaalse nagu riistapuuga.
Yeah, but the fact that it's there can be understood easily by seeing its effects.
Kuid fakt, et see on seal kohal olemas, võime selgelt näha selle efektidest, mida see põhjustab.
Just like the wind, it's been a bit windy yesterday and today.
Sama just nagu tuul, et on nagu siin on tuuline ilm on nii täna kui eile.
Did anyone see the wind?
Kas keegi nägi tuult?
I don't think anyone saw the wind, but you saw the effects of the wind.
Ma ei arva, et keegi just nägi tuult, aga me võisime näha tuule nagu efekte.
So similarly, we can't see the soul with our material eyes, but we can see the effects of the presence of the soul.
Samuti me siis ei saa näha hinge meie materiaalsete silmadega, kuid me võime tunda tema efekte.
we see that the body is alive.
me näeme, et keha elab.
And like we said, you know, water, bones, etc. These are the most ordinary types of material things.
just nagu me rääkisime, et vesi ja luud ja need on kõik täiesti tavalised asjad.
How's the body alive?
kuidas on keha elus?
Is it the water?
kas see on vesi?
I'll let you know.
ma annan teada.
Quite nice.
üsna hea.
So it's not the water.
see ei ole vesi,
It's not the bones or the nervous system.
see ei ole ka luud ega närvisüsteem,
It's not even the brain.
see pole mitte isegi aju.
So it's something else, something we can't see, but it is having these very important big effects on the body.
see on midagi sellist, mida me ei näe, kuid sellel on ometigi väga suur mõju meie kehale.
It's making the body alive.
see paneb meie keha elama,
It's making the body conscious
see annab meie kehale teadvuse
and things like this.
ja sellised asjad.
Yeah, so that's the soul.
see on siis hing.
You know, we just adopt this term soul, which comes from the Christian tradition.
me oleme võtnud selle mõiste hing, mis tuleb siis kristlikust traditsioonist.
Yeah, in Sanskrit, the language of Bhagavad Gita, the soul is called Atma.
Sanskriti keeles siis Bhagavad Gita, mis on Bhagavad Gita kirjutatud, selle siis kutsutakse seda Atmaks.
Anyway, yeah, the soul is very special.
hing on igal juhul väga eriline.
And without the soul, when the soul leaves, you have a dead body.
kui ilma hingeta, kui hing lahkub, siis meil on järgi surnud keha.
You can do what you like with the dead body.
võime teha surnud kehaga mida iganes.
You can shake it, try and bring it back to life in that way.
me võime raputada, püüdes niimoodi ellu äratada.
But when the soul has gone, the life, the consciousness is gone. It's just not there any longer.
kuid kui hing on läinud, siis see teadvus ja see elu, see on läinud.
Is that okay? Ishwariyast. Yes, sir.
May I ask?
You may.
Maharaj, we are eternal spiritual souls, we are not a body, but is it possible to avoid the death? It is not a very good idea to die. Is it possible to, I don't know, maybe jump by mystic powers to highest planet or universe, or day and night, 24 hours, chant Hare Krishna mantra, but what to do for avoiding death?
me oleme igavesed hinged ja aga selline küsimus tekib, kas on kuidagi siis võimalik seda surma ka vältida, kas mingisugusele kõrgemale planeedile püüda ennast viia kuidagi või siis kogu aeg Hare Krishnat korrata või kuidas?
Well, you know, different material bodies of different species, they live for different periods of time.
erinevad materiaalsed kehad, siis erinevad liigid elavad siis oma kindla aja.
Human beings, we live, I mean, it depends if it may be 70 years, maybe 80 years on average.
Need inimesed siis umbes elavad keskmiselt kas siis 60-70 aastat või umbes.
Some people, occasionally, it's very rare, they live to more than 100 years.
mõnikord üsna harva võib ka inimesed elada üle 100 aasta.
But by the time they reach that age, usually they're barely able to function.
kuid kui nad jõuavad sellesse kõrgesse ikka, siis tavaliselt nad on vaevu suudavad toimetada.
But then you have other species like dogs.
Kuid on olemas siis nagu teised liigid, nagu näiteks koerad või
They live average maybe 15 years.
võib-olla nemad elavad 15 aastat.
And when you see a dog that's 15 years old, in many cases the hair has gone gray.
kui me näeme koera, kes on näiteks 15 aastat, siis me võime näha, et tema karvad on halliks läinud.
And you can see this is an old dog.
võime aru saada, et see on vana koer.
Their bodies are made of flesh and blood like our bodies, but it's like a lower grade of flesh and blood.
Nende keha on samuti tehtud lihast ja luust, kuid see on nagu madalama taseme liha ja luu.
Just like you have different grades of metals.
Nagu meil on erinevaid metalle.
A cheap alloy.
Mõni on odav sulam.
It rusts very quickly and just sort of dissolves.
Nii siis mõni sulam hästi kergesti roostetab ja laguneb laiali.
But some other, higher level metal like gold, like platinum, they can last for just hundreds of years.
Aga mis mõned kõrgema kraadi metallid, näiteks kuld või plaatinum, need võivad väga kaua kesta.
Yeah, so our bodies though, they have limited life expectancies.
Meie kehadel on siis piiratud eluaeg.
And with good medical treatment, you can live longer than average, maybe.
Hea meditsiini korral võib-olla, võime elada kauem kui keskmiselt, võib-olla.
But the body is not going to just go on forever.
Kuid keha sellegipoolest ei ela igavesti.
And I'm sure if someone managed to live to 150, they would be unable to function completely.
Kui keegi elaks 115 aastaseks või et ei ole vaevalt suudavad nagu toimetada üldse.
But the thing is, we as eternal spirit souls, we are eternal.
Aga meie nagu vaimsed hinged, meie oleme ju igavesed.
The soul is not made of flesh and blood.
Hing ei ole tehtud lihast ja luust.
It's pure spirit.
Puhas vaim.
Sat Chit Ananda, eternal, full of bliss and full of knowledge.
Igavene täis teadmise, täis õndsus.
That's our natural condition.
See on meie loomulik olemine.
So if we revive our eternal spiritual nature, then yes, we'll be able to live just on and on and on forever.
Kui me äratame oma vaimse loomuse, siis me võime elada edasi ja edasi ja edasi.
But try to squeeze more life out of this body, there's just a limit to what you can do.
Kuid kui proovida sellest kehast viimset elu välja pigistada, siis sellel on teatud piirid ees.
So they're trying to get a result from a material body which is not capable of giving that result.
Nad püüavad saada tulemust materiaalsest kehast, mis ei ole võimeline seda andma.
That result can only be given by the eternal spirit soul.
Sellise tulemuse võib anda ainult igavene vaimne hing.
So rather than trying to just extend the life somehow of the material body, people should revive their spiritual nature.
Selle asemel, et siis püüda pikendada oma keha eluiga, inimesed peaksid proovima äratada oma vaimset hinge.
Is that okay?
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, пожалуйста.
Some more questions? Okay.
Yes, madam.
Дорогой Гуру Махарадж, скажите, пожалуйста, как реагирует душа наша на воспевание джапы? Ведь ум, он сопротивляется, ему хочется материальных каких-то благ или вожделений, а душа, она не из этого мира, она духовная. И джапа, это святые имена, это тоже не из этого мира. То есть каким образом она реагирует, когда мы воспеваем?
Okay.
How our soul reacting to chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because our mind is unstable, it goes somewhere every time, but the soul, it is eternal, and how soul is feeling when we chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra?
Well, the soul. Oh.
Kuidas see Hare Krishna mantra kordamine hingele mõjub, sest
Soul feels really good.
Hing tunneb väga hästi ennast.
Душа чувствует себя очень хорошо.
But the thing is that The soul, well, we mentioned, the soul is covered by matter.
kui me rääkisime, et hing on kaetud siis mateeriaga,
You know, these material phenomena of consciousness.
siis hinge olema.
Material phenomena, you understand?
Materiaalne
Happenings.
materiaalsed toimimised.
Yeah, like we mentioned, lust, anger, greed.
Nagu me rääkisime, iha, viha, kadedus.
These are covering our natural spiritual consciousness.
Need katavad siis meie loomulikku vaimset teadvust.
Yeah. But as I mentioned, you know, it's step by step. It takes some time.
Nagu me rääkisime, see on järk-järgult, need asjad võtavad aega.
You know, if you start chanting tonight, don't be disappointed if by tomorrow morning you have not realized your spiritual identity.
Kui me hakkame täna kordama Hare Krishnat, siis ei maksa olla pettunud homme hommikul, et me ei ole oma vaimset olemust veel teadvustanud.
But if we persevere, if we carry on doing it regularly, then we'll see that progress is coming.
Kui me jätkame regulaarselt, järjekindlalt, siis me võime näha, et me progresseerume.
I'm becoming free step by step of those lower types of conscious conditions.
Järk-järgult me võime näha, me vabaneme teadvuse madalamatest seisunditest.
Lust, anger, greed, etc. These things we'll see, they are reducing.
Viha, ahvus, need kõik me võime näha, need vähenevad.
And as we mentioned, Prabhupada said, peace of mind is like the first really substantial experience.
Kui Prabhupada räägib, meelerahu on üks esimesi tundemärke.
And you really notice that. It's really wonderful.
Me võime seda näha, see on imeline.
So, you know, we have to apply ourselves.
Me peame ennast rakendama sellesse praktikasse.
Not give up too easily.
Mitte liiga lihtsalt katki jätkama.
Because we've been caught up in this material world for a long time.
Sest me oleme siin materiaalses maailmas pikka aega juba olnud.
And you know what they say, one saying, old habits die hard.
Nad räägivad, et vanad harjumused ei sure nii lihtsalt.
So we've been developing these material habits of consciousness, of thinking, for many lifetimes.
Me oleme neid materiaalseid kalduvusi väga palju harjutanud.
But if we apply ourselves and, you know, we carry on steadily, then just within one lifetime, you can get completely free of all this conditioning.
Kui me rakendame ennast ilusti praktikasse, siis isegi ühe elu jooksul me võime saada täiesti vabaks kõikidest nendest madalatest kalduvustest.
I'm sure you've already experienced something from it.
Ma olen kindel, sa juba oled kindlasti kogenud midagi.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't still be here.
Vastasel juhul sind ei oleks siin.
Yeah. You know, it would not be possible to chant 16 rounds a day if you're not getting something from it.
Me ei oleks võimelised kordama 16 ringi iga päev, kui me midagi ei saaks sealt.
So we're getting something from it.
Me saame sealt midagi.
But step by step we have to persevere.
Kuid järk-järgult tasapisi me peame olema järjekindlad.
Okay? Продолжаемся.
Спасибо, Гуру Махарадж, за лекцию. Мы рады вас видеть. А скажите, пожалуйста, а вот спокойствие ума, оно не подменится равнодушием? Не будет ли больше равнодушия в сердце, чем спокойствие? Спасибо.
So what peace of mind, may we said that it will change like I don't care about nothing.
Oh, I see.
Meelerahu see muutub, et mind ei huvita mitte miski.
It's not exactly like that.
see ei ole päris nii.
It means freedom from the lower emotions,
see tähendab seda pigem, et vabadus madalatest emotsioonidest,
freedom from lust, freedom from anger,
vabadus ihast ja vihast,
at least to a very large degree.
vähemalt väga suures osas just.
Clear thinking,
Selge mõtlemine,
your intelligence being able to function clearly and accurately and nicely.
sinu arukus võib siis töötada hästi selgelt ja korralikult.
So it's not like you're just not going to care about anything and you'll just go to sleep.
see ei ole niimoodi, et sa siis enam millestki ei hooliks ja läheksid justkui lihtsalt magama.
It's a state of pure goodness,
see on selline puhta headuse seisund.
peaceful, clear, and able to analyze very easily,
rahulik, selge ning väga lihtsalt võime analüüsida asju,
but not being affected by all the things that are going on around us in this world.
kuid me oleme mõjutatud kõikidest nendest asjadest, mis maailmas meie ümber toimuvad.
So it's more like that.
pigem niimoodi.
Хорошо.